So today we're just going to look at some basic maintenance tips, a pre-ride check, and just how to do the basics like change the tyre. So today obviously we've got a home base, so we're not actually out on the road doing it, but same basics to look at. First of all, what we need to do is get the chain in the right spot on the back cassette. So as you can see, we're at about 4 cogs up. So the best thing to do is gear it right down to the bottom cog, spin it through. So it's in that small cog. What that allows us to do, when we put the chain back on, it'll make sure that we're in the right gear and we don't bust the derailleur or do any damage to our spokes. Next step is pull out the axle or the skewer, depending on which one you're riding. This one's an axle. Straight out, wheel comes out. It's nice and easy when you've got it in the right gear. With a lot of these tyres, even road tyres, you can get them off with your fingers most of the time. Depends how tight they'll be. As you can see, it comes off nice and easy. Just run your finger through, tyre comes fully out, here comes your tube. One of the key tips we try to teach people is your logos on your tyres. Try to put that where your valve will go, because if you ever find some damage on your tyre and you're in the tube, if you have a quarter turn, you can actually go from that logo, find a quarter turn and find where the holes are, any damage like that. So as I said, we've run our fingers through here, there's no damage, there's nothing sticking through. One tip is with that, try to do it lightly. Don't drag your fingers through really hard, because if there's a piece of wire there or a bit of glass, it'll cut your fingers open. Basically sit that tyre out on the bottom, put your tube in, put the valve through, and then just feed it through the tyre wall so that you've got it all within that bit, and then just put the lip over as you go around. As you get to the last quarters where it gets tight, just be careful you're not going to pinch that tube, so just make sure the tube is going in as well. When you get to that last bit, just roll it over. Key point now, and most people do it wrong, is you get a pinch flat where that tube sticks out. So what you want to do is just pull the whole tyre over. If you can see the tube, you're in trouble. If you can't, you're all right. So just run it over, do the whole tyre. No tube, you're all good to go. Straight onto a pump. Pump it up to whatever PSI you want. Mountain bike's about 30 to 35. Okay, because we spent a bit of time, put that in the right cog. It's very easy to put it back in now. All you do is line the chain up with that cog, push your derail down and it'll pop into spot. And line it up finally just with that back brake. Skewers go in and we're ready to go. And that's how you change your tyre. Okay, before we go for any ride, it's best thing to do is check your equipment, just for safety, but also for the safety of other riders that you're going to be there. Worst thing that can happen to us besides a bad crash is we start riding and a mechanical ruins our day and we come home early. So basic mountain bike check. One of the first things we do, tyre pressure. Everyone's different. These are running at about 30-35. It's probably a good pressure for most people. You can go up to about 40 max. Lighter weight you are, the lower the pressure. Next thing we do once we have that is grabbing the front brake, just wiggling the bike, make sure our headset's nice and tight. If we have any movement here, we have a risk of breaking that or doing more damage, or when we brake, the bike can flick out underneath us. Check front brake, check our back brakes are working, all good. Spin wheels through, make sure they're true, make sure they're spinning freely. Same on the front. Next thing to do, one of the last things, just check all your gears here, they're nice and clean, chain's nice and clean, and that your derailleur's in the right spot. One thing when we look at the derailleur, it's one thing that's overlooked a lot of the time. You can see a nice straight line on that. When we change gears, it'll stay in a pretty straight line. If that's bent in or out, we've got a few problems and we can snap that, and it means you'll be walking home, you'll have no gears. Once you've got that ready, last thing to do, put your helmet on and off you go.